Hey guys, it's Sectional Violence here. We got another one for you. UFC 309, it's finally here. We've had a lot of cancellation, or not a lot, but a decent amount of cancellations. But the card's still good. Let's get right into it though. We got Veronica Hardy versus Eduardo Moura. Veronica Hardy, I slightly lean her to win at least 2 rounds, maybe the last two. I see the first round getting very hairy. Moura is a very explosive, physical girl. I see Hardy's been doing a lot of strength and conditioning this camp. We're trying to get physical, get really physical, because that's what she's going to need to be to handle Moura on the feet, or not on the feet, on the ground. Moura isn't going to, look to submit Hardy, but she's going to look to control her, ground and pound, just impose her will. That's why I'm just gonna pass with this fight because I do think Veronica Hardy has a better hand, like better striking by far, better footwork. She has a better coaching, she's coached by Dan Hardy. Um, Not much to say. Like that's you know too bad about Veronica Hardy, other than maybe her get-ups from bottom when she's in full guard. She doesn't really have the greatest get-ups. She gets stuck on her back, and against someone like Eduardo Mora, that worries me. So I'm just not going to bet on this fight. For that reason, there's just too many ways this fight could get hairy. I actually like fight goes to split or Mora wins. The values on Mora, in my opinion. But I don't know, man. I don't know with this fight. I'm all over the place because my prediction, I slightly pick Hardy, but man, I know I just said the values on Mora, but I don't know. I feel like this is a 50-50 fight. Um, yeah, not really making a whole lot of sense here, but what I am trying to say is, I think based on the last performance with Mora gassing out, I think Hardy wins. But if you're giving me plus money on anyone in this fight, I'm taking that. So the plus money's on Mora. So I'm not betting this fight though. But if I was forced to, I would say the value's on Mora. But I think this is going to be a close decision win for Hardy. So I don't know. Just pass this fight. Honestly, if I were to give you advice with this fight, pass. It's a very dangerous fight to bet on. But my prediction is Hardy. Some people get my conviction, my prediction, and who you would bet confused. Who you would bet is basically based on value, based on the percentage on how confident you are in Hardy to win. If Hardy was like even a six out of cashing, if I thought she was going to win at a 60% clip, then I would say, you know what, take Hardy. Um, no problem. But I don't know about this fight, so yeah, values on Mora. That's it. That's the end of my little rant. Uh, yeah. Moving on. We have Oban Elliott taking on Bassil Hafez. Bassil Hafez. Yeah. He's a pretty good fighter, man. Like he's not the greatest. He went life or death with Gall, but he's decent. He's got a legit black belt. Some decent, well, okay wrestling. I'd say, sorry guys, I'm sick. You guys are gonna have to bear with me. I think Oban Elliott is, on the other hand, pretty skilled. I think his takedown defense is very good. I think his cardio has gotten a lot better than it was. I think his boxing fundamentals are better. Um, yeah, I don't know. I gotta go with Elliott here. Could he get Chin somehow? Yeah, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. Um, I think he's gonna stick behind a good jab and push a pace on Hafez. Honestly, the values on Hafez, I wouldn't put Elliott as a big favorite in this spot. I think Hafez has a chance, a really legit chance in this fight. It's kind of like Morris situation. My pick is the favorite, but if I were to bet on this fight, it would be the dog, Hafez and Mora. But coincidentally, I do think Oban also wins a decision here. I don't know if he finishes Hafez. If I look at Hafez's record, I don't know if he's been finished a whole lot. Um, let's see. Da, 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 da. Yeah, no, nothing really. All is split. Yeah, maybe early in his career. Yeah, even then. So this guy has had a pretty good record at not getting finished. I feel like this is gonna go to a decision at a high clip. I'm gonna go with uh the new prospect rather than how old is Hafez? I was just on his page, I know. Um he is 32, so he's still in his prime, but I gotta go with Oban Elliott here. Definitely if but it's confusing you guys because the value, I know you guys are thinking, well, who do I bet on? First fight, like I said with the first fight, plus money, take the plus money. And if this was 50, like the odds were identical, then I'd say take Oban. But because the odds are so crazy wide for Oban, I would say, sprinkle some on Hafez. He's gonna come on strong. But honestly, I wouldn't bet this fight. This is a fight I wouldn't bet at the current odds because I honestly think Oban schools him. But I'm just not betting this fight. I'm not confident enough in Oban to bet on him, especially at this price. Moving on, we have Gall taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz, he is a pretty bad fighter. I can't really rely on him, but you can't rely on Gall either. Ramiz, on the other hand, you can't rely on him, and he's just, he death gasses. Themba Garembo, you know, kind of had his way with him. Court McGhee had his way with him. He's just shown that he can't really defend grappling very well. I do think Gall has a better grappling. I feel like Gall is gonna have more not momentum, sorry, motivation. He's gonna have more motivation coming into this one. He's got you know home almost a home field advantage. He's a New York guy. New York, sorry, not New York. He's a New Jersey guy. I think. I think despite the three losses in a row, I think Gall is going to win this fight. I feel like he's due for a win. Ramiz Brahimaj is definitely capable of wrestling his way to a decision win, but I'm gonna go with Gall here. I feel like he's better on the feet and he's better on the ground, so gotta go with Gall here. Gonna go with Gall by submission or decision. But I'm gonna lean decision. Decision would probably be the most likely outcome because Brahimaj is tough. I'll give him that. Moving on, we have Marcin Tybura versus Jhonata Diniz. So Jhonata Diniz is a very, very dangerous striker. Glory, he's a glory kickboxer. Um, the thing with Jhonata though is his get ups from bottom are non-existent. They're not there. He doesn't sweep. He doesn't technically stand up. He just kind of lays there. The round's kind of over. So I do think Tybura, if he gets him down, is just going to dominate from on top, uh, stay on top, and win. For that reason, I'm not betting this fight. Also, I don't have a great track record with heavyweight fights as of late. Um, but yeah, I do think I'm gonna go with Diniz here, landing a big shot over Tybura. Diniz is in his prime, not in his prime, but he's I think younger than Tybura. He's 33 years old, still in his prime. Um, Tybura's 38 or something. Uh, Tybura may have more experience, but that chin is not as durable as it needs to be to fight someone like Diniz. Diniz is mainly hands, so he doesn't need to worry about a whole lot other than his hands, but his hands hit very hard. So I do think Diniz is going to land at some point. I think Diniz is going to win by KO in the first or second round. Yeah, that's my prediction for this one. Could get hairy, so definitely don't bet this fight. Be careful. Yeah. Moving on, we have Roberto Romero taking on David Onama. Um, so yeah, David Onama is a physical freak, absolutely gifted as an athlete, very, very skilled, KO power, get ups like Derek Lewis at the 145 division, but like somewhat technical. But yeah, he has freak athletics, knows how to just work, 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 even when he's fatigued. The guy has good wins. Gabriel Santos, Jonathan Pierce, Garrett Armfield. Um, who else did he beat? Or I thought he beat Mason Jones, but he had a close fight with Mason Jones on short notice. Nate Landwehr had him hurt on multiple occasions. The guy's just a beast. He's fighting a guy from Combat Global who is pretty good in his own right. Has a few finishes. Um, the thing with him is who is he fighting? These guys aren't that great. Um, Going to get split with Ivan Tena is not a great look. Um, yeah, that's not a great look. Honestly, I gotta go with David Onama here. I just feel like he's done more, proved more, and the guy's an absolute stud. Whereas Romero is, you know, just another Combat Global guy who is there to scrap. So definitely gonna be entertaining for as long as it lasts, I feel. But I don't think Onama's gonna lose this one. I feel pretty confident in saying Onama's should get this guy out of here or just win a dominant decision. But Onama in the distance is probably the play. But yeah, money line is pretty crazy. I wouldn't go playing that, parlaying that. Onama negative 1100. What could go wrong? He's just so like low fight IQ at times, and the guy, yeah, I don't know. I think he wins with at a high clip, but I don't know if I take the money line. Be careful. Um, yeah, not much else to say about this fight. It's a pretty much a layup fight. Oh yeah, and Onama's also had the camp for this one. Romero's taking this on short notice, so you got to favor the guy with the camp. I think Onama is going to come in ready, looking for a finish. So yeah, moving on. We have Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. Mm. Damon Jackson is fighting, you know, at this stage of his career just to get paychecks. I don't think he actually has that fire in him anymore. Um, his striking is non-existent. Never really has been, but he's 36 now. He got shown in that fluffy fight that yeah, I don't know what this is, guys. Tell me if it's a scam, but I'm trying to get rid of that off my laptop. Damon Jackson is just kind of washed at this point in his career. He's taken a lot of damage. I feel like he is going to be fighting at a disadvantage here. If he grapples, this could be an easy fight for him, but I think Jim Miller is preparing for that. I think he is fighting as if this is home turf from New Jersey, so it's basically in the area. I think Jim Miller is going to come out looking to put Damon Jackson away. I think Jim Miller by KO is very live. He absolutely deadened Jesse Butler, so their power is there. He submitted Benitez and Cerrone. KO'd Mata as well. Eric Gonzalez. He's got finishing ability, but the problem is, will he? Because I could see him retiring after this as well, but I don't know. We'll see. I think this is just going to be a close Jim Miller fight. I don't think I'm not going to judge people off their recent performances anymore because every time I seem to be doing that as of late, they come out looking like their old self again. So, gonna go with Jim Miller, but I'm not confident. He's still at a young age at let me see 41 years old, so it's like you can't really pick him with confidence and bet him with real money. So I'm gonna go with Mr. A10 Miller here, but I'm not gonna say that I'm confident and running to go bet this. It's definitely not a fight I want to go bet. But yeah, moving on, we have Chris Weidman taking on Eryk Anders. Eryk Anders, I met both these guys. Are really cool dudes. Eryk was I met him in UFC 287. That's when he fought Marc Andre. The guy's a great dude. Very well rounded. Um, the problem is he's moved on in his life. He's 37. He's doing movies. He's doing grappling. He's doing everything else. He doesn't need to be doing this anymore. He's doing this because he's just gotten the last few fights out of his contract. Um, I don't know. He moved gyms, so not recently, but so he's training out of a different gym now. He was training at a Fight Ready, but now it's a different crew. I can't really know the crew he's with now, but yeah, like he's got the grappling, and I don't think he's gonna out wrestle Weidman. I think Weidman's on the feet looking better these days. I know Weidman is, I don't know, how old is Weidman now? He's 40. Yeah, Weidman's 40 years old, so he's definitely up there in age. Only reason why I'm not betting this fight is because he's 40 years old. He could just break his knee, could go out again, something could happen. I'm gonna go with Chris Weidman here as an underdog. I just feel like something is in the air. I feel like they're in New York. This is gonna be Weidman's homecoming. Potentially walks away after this one. There's a lot of fighters that could walk away after this one, and it's a very old card. A lot of old fighters are on this card. I do think Chris Weidman wins this fight. I think it's going to be a war. It's very tempting to play, but I'm just not going to do it. I think Chris Weidman is unreliable. I know they said with the gloves they're going to have the old gloves, so he'll be able to eye poke a little easier. He was using the eye poke very well last fight, so yeah, I'm going to go with Chris Weidman here by decision. Yeah. Moving on, we have Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcus McGhee. Tricky fight to call. I'm gonna go with Marcus McGhee just because he's showing us a lot of skill and promise. But I understand the dog shot in Jonathan Martinez. Martinez is showing absolute skill on the feet. He was competitive at times with Aldo. He TKO'd Yanez and Swanson with the leg kicks. He's got devastating leg kicks. The problem with McGee is he's very, very good at checking kicks and moving. While he's moving, he's very, very elusive, comes in on a weird timing. I don't think a lot of guys move like him in Martinez's gym, and I do think Martinez is going to have some problems. This is a 3-round fight. I feel like Martinez is going to have some problems with the power of Marcus McGee also. I could honestly see J Mart sealing this one, being a close fight. So if I were to bet this fight, I would probably lean J Mart because of the dog value. If there's still dog value, this is a 50-50 fight. I lean Marcus, but honestly, I wouldn't bet this fight just because this is a show me spot for Marcus, and J Mart is pretty much defending his spot. So there's a lot riding on this fight for him, and I could see him fighting, you know, very very hard and winning a decision. So be careful with this fight. I don't really know with this one. This is a very very dangerous fight to bet. Moving on. Yeah, that's real. I'll do it. Cold. Let's do it, guys. No gum, no nothing. I can do it. My mouth's just a little dry. Mauricio Ruffy versus James Llontop. Uh, so the thing with Mauricio Ruffy is his chin's very high, and he could get tagged and put it away at any time. But I think Llontop is just too slow, and he's just too hittable. He's coming off a war with Slava Claus that was in like 3 months ago. He got shown levels on the ground by Padilla. I just feel like Lon Top is not great. He's just, a decent scrapper. Like he'd be good in something like maybe BKFC, but even then, like he wouldn't be good at the highest level because his head movement's not there. His you know, footwork isn't great. I just think Ruffy's gonna be too quick for him. He's gonna have his timing. I feel like Ruffy's gonna come on. He's gonna come on hard in this fight. Potentially get a finish in the second round. I don't think he'll get him out of there in the first. That will be super impressive if he does. But I gotta go with Ruffy round 2, 3 TKO. I just feel like he's gonna get his reads early and then find the TKO in later rounds. Definitely a crazy fight though to bet on because negative 900, negative 1,000 on Ruffy. Not much you can do with that. You could parlay that, but you're banking on Ruffy to do his job when he was going life or death and losing to that Russian. So I'm not saying Russians as worse than Llontop, but I just think I don't know. I just think this is should be a little closer. I think like negative 3, 4, maybe negative 500. Ruffy would be most I would give him. Anything more is a bit ridiculous. But yeah, I gotta go with Ruffy here by TKO in the later rounds. Moving on, we have Karine Silva taking on Viviane Araujo. Viviane is definitely getting up there in age. Um, but Karine Silva has again not proved much. She has fought, Lipski, who's their only credible opponent, Ketlin Souza, who is a little too big or small for the weight class. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of this. You got good grappling, don't get me wrong, but I think Viviane Araujo has what it takes to make this a very tricky fight for her. I think Araujo can win the grappling exchanges later on as she gets tired. I feel like Araujo is very physical. She can match the physicality. Um, the thing that worries me with this fight is the age of Araujo. I don't know if that will make her frailer, or if the strength will always be there. She's 37. Natalia Silva was, having her way with her in moments with the physical, with the clinches and stuff. I don't know, man. I think this could be a really tricky fight for Karine Silva, but I will want to bet it. I have no interest in betting this fight. I lean Karine Silva here, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Araujo win, and the value's all over Araujo. So if I were to bet this fight, Araujo by decision would probably be my play. But yeah, I'm not betting this fight because this is just a tricky fight to call. Would have been interested to see what Jazz and Araujo would have been like. Araujo's a legend. Jazz is, I guarantee would have been a trickier fight than Lipski. In hindsight, pre-flop, I would have thought they'd be the same fight, but maybe Jazz makes uh Araujo look at that easy too. But yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting fight, interesting division. Um, yeah, I doubt I think the winner of this might actually get to fight Jazz. So that'll be pretty cool. But hopefully they give Jazz someone higher in the rankings. That would be even better. Um, yeah, Viviane Araujo, I got to go with her. Not her, sorry, Silva. Got to go with her, but I could see Araujo stealing it. So if you're betting, I could, put a little bit on Araujo. Not a lot though, because honestly, I don't see her winning this fight. Moving on, we have Bo Nickal taking on Paul Craig. I won't talk too long about this fight. It doesn't need too long to be talked about. Now, there is a world where Bo Nickal could get caught in an armbar, a triangle, something stupid. But in reality, in the world called Planet Earth, Paul Craig is soy. And when Bo Nickal touches him on the chin, he'll feel it. He'll get put away. If Bo Nickal takes him down, ground and pounds potential. Actually, I don't even know because that's rare. Paul Craig's very experienced. I think Bo Nickal wins this with ease, but for 6-0, being negative 1,000, you got a lot of, proving to do. He's beat Cody Brundage, Val Woodburn, Jamie Pickett, Zach Borrego, Jonathan Beard. None of those names are like, oh, Paul Craig, you should beat Paul Craig now. So this is a big jump up in competition, but I still think he runs through Paul Craig with ease. We'll see though. I'm taking a shot with Bo Nickel here. I got him around negative 700 in a parlay, and I honestly don't see how he loses this other than submission. So I feel like on the feet, other than the kicks from Paul Craig, I think Bo Nickel should win this one. I feel like on the ground, other than submission, like the triangle or the armbar, I feel like those are the only submissions he could get caught in. Yeah, I don't think I don't think Bo Nickel will get caught with anything else, and for that reason, I think he'll win the grappling exchanges. Definitely be careful with this fight from a props point of view. If you're taking, unless you're taking Paul Craig, just take him by sub because that's his only way of victory is sub. I doubt he wins a decision with Bo Nickel. That would be absolutely crazy. But yeah, I gotta go with Bo Nickel by TKO. Moving on. We have Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler has a real shot at KOing Oliveira, but Chandler's been inactive. He's lost to him already. The recipes and the writings on the wall. Charles Olives is gonna finish him again, even quicker. I see round one TKO or a sub. I think Charles is just has more tools. His elbows, knees, his kicks, his um, cardio, his jiu-jitsu. Chandler's wrestling is obviously better, but you know he's not going to offensively wrestle Charles, and Charles, other than getting tagged on the feet, is going to be, I feel like, substantially better than Chandler. So we'll see how this fight plays out. I got to go with Charles. The odds are pretty fair, so I wouldn't run to play them. I might though. You never know. We'll see. This card screams parlays. I gotta go with Charlie Olives though. I'm gonna go with submission, round one or two. We'll see though. Tricky. I could see an upset. I could see a lot of things in this fight just because of some unknowns. What does Chandler look like after a 2-year layoff? Uh, da, da, da. Yeah. Moving on, we have the champion John Bones Jones taking on the former champion Stipe Miocic, the goat and the goat. Honestly, this fight, I gotta go with John Jones. Like I just feel like he's got better grappling. He is younger. He is faster, potentially. That is also up for debate because at the weight class, he might even be slower at this weight class. But Jones, I feel like he's just a winner. He finds ways to win. You got to bet on guys like him. They always find ways to win. He's had a layoff, but not quite as bad as Stipe. I don't know. They're introducing the old rules, the old gloves. So John's gonna have his poking abilities. I just feel like this is a layup for John to win, to keep his bullcrap legacy intact. His legacy is only bull because of his inability or unwanting to fight the real champ Tom Aspinall. Um, yeah, I got to go with Jones here. This is a tailor made up matchup for him. Sure, Stipe's no slouch, but at this age, I just feel like they set this up for John. So gotta go with John Jones here. Negative 700. You could say it's a bit wild, but I'd say with how much stuff John Jones has said and put into this and how much they're relying on him to win, I can understand why he's negative 700. Um, if this was 5 years ago, then yeah, definitely not. But Miocic is at an age now where I just feel like John Jones will be improving while he's regressing. So definitely gonna call it there, little guys. And give you guys now my top five most confident picks. Um, number one, my number one pick would be Bo Nickel. Number two, John Jones. Number three, Mauricio Ruffy. Number four, Charles Oliveira. And number five, David Onama. Alrighty, guys. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll catch you next time. Peace.